one of the biblical principles we see showing up in the very first book of the Bible in Genesis is that God invites his people to walk and to live and to obey his commands, to walk in his ways, in spite of whatever circumstances that the environment that they live in might be telling them. One particular story is found in Genesis chapter 26, where we see Isaac, the miracle son of Abraham and Sarah, who is living in what would now be southern Israel. And at this particular time, there's a huge famine. And historically, the wisdom is, and his father even did this, the wisdom is when there's a famine, you go to the place that's going to be least affected by the famine. And that would be the Nile River Delta in Egypt. Abraham had done this. Joseph had led his family, Jacob and etc., all the brothers and sisters to move there, which ended up resulting in the enslavement of Israel. But this is what you did in famine. You go to Egypt, you settle in the Nile River Delta, and you weather it. But in this particular situation, God gives an instruction, or actually it's an invitation to Isaac that says, instead of going to Egypt, I want you to stay where you are. And in the middle of this famine where there's a lot of suffering, I'm not discounting that, not saying that these are not ideally the best circumstances with which to plant crops and to see a good return come. I will bless you, I will care for you, and I will provide for you. And it says Isaac chose to believe God, and he went to a place called Gerar, and he parked there. He decided, I'm going to stay here, and he began to live his life according to God's principles, according to his obedience, no matter what else was going on, no matter what anybody else was doing. And in Genesis chapter 26, verse 12, it talks about how, and in the middle of this famine, Isaac planted his crops. And when it came time to reap a harvest, he got 100 times the amount that was expected when he had initially planted. Now, normally a good harvest would come in around 20 times, but 100 times what he was expecting. And it was supposed to be a sign both to Isaac and his family, but also to those around him, that even when circumstances are difficult, God invites us to be people who walk in his way, which is a way of blessing. And we're not walking with God just to get what we can from him, but he's inviting us to be people who live according to his principles and to see the tangible and spiritual results that work out in our lives as we're doing that. When I read about this, it really challenges me not to simply look at the circumstances of the world that we live in and to be afraid or to worry. Hearing about inflation and gas prices, yeah, those are real. Hearing about wars and rumors of wars, yes, they're real. But God told me to be planted here for now, for this period of time, and to invest myself and invest my life and to obey his commands and to put into practice everything I know to put into practice. And I continue to see he will bless his people. We don't have to go somewhere else to receive his blessing. We need to go where he tells us. And those can be two very different things. And so the invitation that I'm offering to you is, can you, despite whatever circumstances you see in your environment, can you put into practice what God is inviting you to bring glory to him in the way that you live, in the things that you do, and what you give yourself to, and to plant where he's placed you, and not run to try and find a fertile spot that looks better on the outside, but to be a person who will invest where God called them to invest in the life that they're living, right where they happen to be. Hope there's something in here that's encouraging to you. Have a great rest of your week. God bless you.